Movie review, First Blood. In 1982, an action movie came along that was a bit different from all the rest. It wasn't just another mindless display of gunfights and explosions. No, this movie had something more. A story that tugged at your heartstrings. A plot that kept you on the edge of your seats. And above all, it had a character that was larger than life. John Rambo. But this wasn't just an ordinary guy. He was a decorated war hero, a Green Beret who had seen things that no one should ever witness. A man wrestling with inner demons and trying to find peace in a world that had forgotten him. Today, let's talk about why First Blood is so much more than an action flick. Why? Let's get started. This movie, starring Sylvester Stallone, was the first chapter in the Rambo saga, and let me tell you, it set the bar high. The story follows John Rambo, played with gritty determination by Stallone, a Green Beret who returns home from the jungles of Vietnam, to find that the welcome he had been promised is not quite what he expected. Instead of being celebrated as a hero, he's treated like a second-class citizen, a veteran grappling with invisible wounds. What makes this film so gripping is that it doesn't shy away from showing the dark side of war, the psychological toll it takes on those who fight it. Rambo isn't just physically strong, he's mentally sharp, too, always anticipating the next move, always thinking ahead. His survival instincts kick in when he finds himself in trouble, turning the tables on those who had thought they had him trapped. Watching him navigate the wilderness, relying on his training and instincts to stay alive is both thrilling and inspiring. It's a masterclass in survival tactics. But it's not just Rambo's story. First Blood also tackles the story of Sheriff Will Teasel, played with quiet intensity by Brian Dennehy. This man represents the community's perspective, the people who don't understand what Rambo's going through, who see him as an outsider. It's a reminder that sometimes the greatest battles are fought not on the battlefield, but in the hearts and minds of those around us. The climax of the film is both tragic and thought-provoking, a showdown that doesn't need fancy stunts or special effects to make an impact. It's all in the dialogue, in the looks exchanged between characters, and in the haunting images it leaves in our minds. By the end of the film, you're left thinking about what you've seen. Not just because it's a great story, but because it raises questions about the treatment of veterans, about the meaning of heroism, and the cost of war. So why is First Blood still relevant today? Why do we need to talk about it now? Because the issues raised in the film transcend generations. It's a story that speaks to anyone who has ever felt misunderstood, anyone who has ever grappled with mental health challenges, and anyone who has ever questioned the purpose of their existence. Rambo might be a fictional character, but his struggles are all too real, and that's what makes First Blood such a powerful film. It's a reminder that behind every soldier there is a person, someone with hopes, dreams, and fears, someone who deserves our understanding and support, not our scorn and misunderstanding. Now, let's dig a little deeper. First Blood wasn't just a film, it was a cultural phenomenon that changed how we saw action movies. Before Rambo, action heroes were larger than life, invincible figures who never seemed to feel pain or doubt. But here was John Rambo, a hero who showed his vulnerabilities, who cried out for help and who questioned his own actions. He was a hero who was broken but not beaten, a man who had lost his way but was trying to find his way back. In Rambo, Stallone created a character who was not just tough and skilled, but also deeply human. And that resonated with audiences in a way that few films had done before. The character of Rambo became a symbol for many Vietnam veterans who were struggling to reintegrate into civilian life. He represented the frustration, anger, and despair that many of them had felt when they returned home to a country that seemed indifferent to their sacrifices. Through Rambo, they saw a reflection of their own struggles, their own battles with PTSD, and their own efforts to find peace. The film's success can be attributed to several factors. Firstly, it came at a time when there was a growing interest in films that dealt with the Vietnam War and its aftermath. The war had been a divisive and controversial issue in American society, and many veterans felt that they had been neglected and misunderstood. First Blood gave voice to their experiences and helped to raise awareness of the challenges they faced. Another reason for the film's success was its strong performances. Sylvester Stallone's portrayal of Rambo was both nuanced and powerful. He captured the character's inner turmoil, his physical and emotional scars, and his struggle to survive in a hostile environment. Stallone's dedication to the role was evident in his physical transformation. He lost over 30 pounds to play Rambo, and he trained extensively to make sure that he could perform the character's action scenes convincingly. Stallone didn't just play Rambo, he became Rambo. His portrayal of the character was so intense and immersive that audiences walked away believing that they had witnessed the real John Rambo. But it wasn't just Stallone's performance that made First Blood so captivating. The film's direction by Ted Kotcheff was masterful. He created a sense of tension and suspense that kept audiences on the edge of their seats. The cinematography by Adam Hollander was breathtaking, capturing the rugged beauty of the Washington wilderness and the grim determination on Rambo's face. The film's editing by Richard A. Harris and David L. M. Johnson was seamless, keeping the action fast-paced and the story moving at a steady clip. But perhaps the most important reason for First Blood's success was its ability to connect with audiences on an emotional level. It wasn't just an action film. It was a character study of a man who was broken but not beaten. A man who had lost his way but was trying to find his way back. Audiences saw themselves in Rambo, whether they were veterans or civilians, whether they had experienced trauma or not. They recognized the universality of the human condition that the film explored. First Blood was more than just a film. It was a cultural event that changed the landscape of action movies forever. It showed that action heroes could be flawed and vulnerable, that they could cry, and that they could break. It opened the door for a new generation of action films that were not just about mindless violence, but about characters, stories, and emotions. First Blood was a film that broke the rules and defied expectations. It was a film that made us feel, think, and question. It was a film that changed us. So why is First Blood still relevant today? Because the issues it raised are timeless. The struggle to find one's place in a changing world, the search for identity and belonging, and the power of the human spirit to endure and overcome, these are universal themes that resonate with audiences no matter where they live or what time they inhabit. First Blood is not just a film. It's a testament to the power of storytelling. It's a reminder that films can be more than just entertainment. They can be catalysts for change, sparks that ignite conversations and inspire empathy. First Blood is a film that needs to be watched, discussed, and celebrated. It's a film that changed the course of cinematic history and left an indelible mark on our hearts and minds. So if you haven't seen First Blood, it's time to give it a watch. And if you have, it's time to watch it again. Let's keep the conversation going. Share your thoughts about the film in the comments below, and let the world know why First Blood is more than just an action flick. It's a masterpiece. Thanks for watching.